Going into the job, you do understand that there's, dangerous calls you go to. There's armed robberies or stabbings or, active shooters that do happen and can happen. But you prepare for stuff like that. We train all the time for stuff like that. This call wasn't that. Dispatch had sent us this call, and it came out as an injury accident, 900 block, 25th Street South. Busy area. If you drive in Fargo, 25th Street is always busy, especially at that time. And on scene, one thing I was told in training is, if you think you need help, ask for help. And so I'd called for a second officer. Just, road was busy, needed, traffic control so I could kind of handle the rest of it. Dispatch sends Jake and Zach. They get on scene. Talking to Jake, I knew Jake pretty well. We went through the academy together. And first thing he asked me is, what do you need? And it's something we always ask each other, but it's something that it shows with Jake where he really wants to help you. And so I told him, I need witness statements. Zach's gonna do traffic control. We're gonna finish this up, get out of here, go home. As I'm telling him this, Zach had called out to Andrew. As we both turned, and that's when we hear it, shots being fired. I'm hit, I start to turn, I fall. I look down at my right arm, and my right arm's broken. I don't know how else I'm injured, but I know it's bad because I can't walk. And I still have my earpiece in while this is all going on. So, I'm hearing Zach's radio coming through. I hear shots fired, 3 officers down. Send everybody. And I hear all of it. And I turn around and I see Andrew, and he's in tough shape. So I go and comfort my buddy, make sure we're good. Nothing I did that day is heroic. Everything I did that day was my job. It was my job to make sure Andrew was okay. It was my job to be there at that incident, that time. What Jake did was heroic. We were lucky with the circumstances surrounding it, where there were 2 trauma rooms open, 2 fully staffed teams ready to help. And they did. And I am forever thankful that I had the people around me that I did that day. I had everyone that I needed that day by my side.
So that morning of the incident it was a normal morning. I was going to my sister's basketball tournament that afternoon in Morris, and their basketball game, they were maybe 5 minutes into the first half when my phone was ringing, and I saw it was coming from Ty's cell phone, and I thought, that's weird. And I looked at the time and thought, well, it's getting close to the end of his shift. Maybe he has a report that's going to take him a little longer, and he just wanted to let me know he was going to be late. And when I answered it wasn't Ty on the phone. Somebody else had grabbed his phone and called me from the scene of the incident. I'm eternally grateful for all of the support and the staff, the medics who came in when we had first arrived at Sanford. She had come into the room and said that, I was there with him in the ambulance, and I asked if there was anything that he wanted me to tell anybody, and he said, you tell my wife I love her and I love what I do. That night, when he was finally out of surgery, it was probably one of the worst moments seeing him in such a vulnerable state, but it was also amazing to know that he was still there. His blood pressure would spike when his favorite song would play, and it was like, he's still there.
In the hospital, within the 24 days that I was there, the first 3 days I had 6 surgeries. After that, I had another 8. I had 14 surgeries in total in 24 days, which is a lot on the body. It's a lot of missed breakfasts, which I was not thrilled about. But, it's something that you kind of have to go through. And, when I was released, I still had 2 to 3 appointments a week. I was going to Fargo. I was homebound for about a month, where I had to have a nurse in the house every day to come and, make sure everything was okay. And, just being released from the hospital wasn't the end of it for me. And, I've had another surgery since leaving. I'll have another one in a couple of weeks that, that'll bring my total up to 16. And, we're hoping that that's the last one. But, medically that doesn't stop there. Physical therapy for months, occupational therapy to get the use of my hand back, and just physically getting back to as normal as I can be, where, you want to be able to do the things, you want to be able to cook, use a knife, and, it's something that's important to me, where I love to cook, that's something that I cook dinner. I cook the Thanksgiving turkey every year, and it's something I'm really excited about this year that, I was able to get to a point where, I will be able to do it again, and I love doing it. For me, being there for Andrew when he got released, it was important for me because we had gone through this together. We had a conversation before, when he found out. He's like, yeah, I'm going home, and I was ecstatic for him. I was so happy that he was getting to go home, and being able to do that and heal at home, and to get to the point where he was able to, I was so proud. It meant everything for me to be able to be down there for him and support him. Getting off that elevator, I didn't really know what to expect. I expected the PD to be there. I expected, a lot of those guys and some of the hospital staff, but just the amount of people that were there and the support that we got, there's no other words but thank you.
When Tyler and Andrew had that moment, the day of discharge, I stepped back for a moment, not only so they could have their moment together, but also so I could take it all in and take a deep breath and remember it. Those two grew really close. They've created quite a bond, quite a friendship. And I know it's one that they'll cherish forever.
Waking up in the hospital, I couldn't do anything. I had to be taken care of, I had to be helped. And it was Maddie every day, every second that I was there. She slept in my hospital room with me for 24 days straight. And those hospital beds aren't comfy. I don't know how she did it, but it was just a testament to, how she wanted to support me and how she wanted to be there. And it was very helpful, and I couldn't have gotten through the process without her. I think the support that we got is incredibly unique to Fargo. It's something we talked about a lot, where, I don't know if we would have gotten the same support in other states, other towns, where everyone in Fargo, it's a big town that feels like a small town. It's something that is very unique to the feel of Fargo, and you feel it instantly whenever you work there or go out to dinner. You feel that you're welcomed consistently. And I love that about Fargo, and that's why I like to stay. Moving forward from the incident is, it's difficult. Finding a new normal is, something that you have to do, and something that drives me is just, if I stop, what happens? What we do, it matters. I love what I do. I can't wait to get back to the streets, and that's part of it. Is I want to get back out there, and another part of it is just, I don't want to stop. I don't want to put my life on hold any longer than I already have. What am I going to do besides this? I love this job. I love it every day. There wasn't a day I went into work that I was upset that I was there. It's important to know what you want to do in life. And, being a cop isn't always what I wanted to be, but it's what I was meant to be.